I'm Galina Milton. This is my studio. I've been an artist for a long time, maybe 20 years. I was born and raised in Ukraine and prime Soviet Union. So my education is Russian art and Ukrainian art, and it's reflect on my painting. But when I came here in this country, I got my horizon broadened in lots of people contained in this country. So lots of my paintings contain the people and their story of their families, stories of their countries, stories of their cultures, and it reflects in the clothes, in the eyes, on the color of the skin, and everything is above. So lots of my paintings, it's people. It's not traditional realism, and I don't try to be realistic. I don't try to be photorealistic because camera can reflect it. So I try to just to show the movement, and not only a movement in physical meaning, but a movement of the soul, a movement of the culture. So it's on my paintings in the whiteness. It's what is in the wall. It was in my easel right now, and it's what is in my heart. Not a style of French Impressionists. It's probably the biggest influence. It's Russian Impressionist, and Ilya Repin is one. Since it's not only the style of his painting, which was big in that time, it's 19th centuries mostly, but all the groups that he established in that time, and I try to, a lot of people are working on that style right now, but the most influenced me is that they can show the people the story in one painting. Like Ilya Repin, his paintings of course huge, but he created the stories that telling the characters, the movement in the history. It was like a movies basically for that time for Russia, to show the movies. Like right now we are watching movies for history. In that time you were watching the painters painting the characters and historical events and little pieces of stories on villages and all of that. So I always try kind of to show the story, and it's why I like faces a lot, because they are telling lots of story. Not only genetic resources, of course, they tell the stories what nationality the person is, but also what they do, how they live, what they live about. And I'm not only liking the people in environment, of course I do, but probably people, how they look, how they react to different events. Is a sad face, or it's enjoyable, some events. So it's not only Ilya Repin, it's a little bit modern people like Fechin after that he came to this country and he find the people that was looking differently for him. Native Americans and people who were living in the villages in New Mexico, and he painted lots of them, and he painted lots of people from Russia that before he moved and all of that. But the style of fast brush strokes, the style that was more alive than the life itself, and that left on his painting influenced me a lot. So Ilya Repin and Fechin, but it's only Russian Impressionist. But in this country also, like Richard Schmidt, that widely is the same kind of style. He doesn't follow anyone, but he follows the same idea. So it's my ideas too, and I try to, maybe not always successful, but I try to keep the same line of painting, the same ideas of painting. Generally speaking, I like to paint. I like just to dip in and just be there in that ideas. But if you mean what kind of style of my work I like and what kind of medium I like, so I basically when I came to this country, I never touched oil before, and it was 20-something years ago, and I painted in watercolor. Well, that shift to oil, that I first opened oil and was able to breathe that smell and to get the touch of it and put my hands, I do lots of with my hands on the painting. It's just so exciting, it's just so relaxing, it's just so rewarding that it's what basically keep me in art and keep me in painting and drawing too. But for the most part, it's colors. Colors excite me a lot, and colors is everything for me. So it's maybe not that realistic and not maybe not that photographic in some cases, but movement of the color and mood of the color, it's what I like the best in art. Well, the dream project, again, to make a big painting with lots of people around. Actually, if you can see, mine is 1, 2, sometimes maybe 3 people arrangement. I love to do about 10, 15 people and put them in a situation where I can show what they all think, how they all thinking, and create the painting like that. Afraid? It's not to say anything. I'm afraid to touch that project, but I still think I collect the material to do it one day, the big story and the big painting. The problem is for me, I like to use models that is in front of me. So if I ever do that big project, I will have to have lots of people that will pose for me, and it's a big, but I still think it's possible. I still go there, I still practice every week on figure drawing to get there someday, to get faces alive and movement alive and all of that. Well, the first one is actually a Russian artist that Nikolai Blokhin. He is a recent addition to US, and his paintings are absolutely great. He compared to old masters of Russia, but he is working big and he is working mostly people in costumes. That one I am so much to like to meet and maybe study with him. The second one is Huahan Louis, that is Chinese artist. He is working in States too, and he is telling the story with his painting. He doesn't do that big brush strokes because he is very traditional, but his colors and values on the paintings are amazing and so bright, so beautiful. So that one I would like to have as my teacher. And of course the painters from the past. One of the painters that I like to have as an example of color was Wreath. Wreath was a Russian painter in 19th century. He used all kind of bright colors like yellow and blue together and complementary colors. So that is not a figure painter, but it's mostly about his colors that I like to borrow from him. Well, short term is probably not to lose the ability to see people and to draw and paint people. So it's why I practice. And besides, I practice not only with people. I work as much from life as I possibly can, go outside and do the landscape because it's live colors. I do the still life because it's live colors, and I can do it right here before my painting died. So the short term, shortly say, it's to keep my ability to see the colors, values, and composition alive. The long term, again, as I said, it's to get its a bigger arrangement of elements. So not only people, maybe involve the environment around it, maybe involve the interior. If they I still think about, and sometimes reading the book, I still think about the decoration, how I can illustrate the book, the story I'm reading. So I'm making a little sketches. So the big goal is to get that story alive on a painting. Okay, so the one painting was a candle. It's a light in the dark, and I was just trying the element again. The teaching team CC helps because sometimes it reminds you the different style, and chiaroscuro is the one that I was trying to replicate on my painting and try to play with that. How's the color disappeared in the darkness? So did it disappear in the darkness? Could I produce a little bit of color? It's all just an experience. The second one, the rest with leaves, it's just a play with elements again, play with face, with the elements, and it's another thing that I wanted to do to get elements that was not there. So the model didn't have that leaves and flowers around it, and I tried to get it connected together. I hope I could, but I don't know. Again, it's people in an environment. It's all about that. Would it be different style like chiaroscuro, or would it be it's bright like impressionist? It doesn't matter. It's all about how do environment influence our faces, and what is in our faces, what is in our eyes, what is in our nose, lips, whatever is on the skin, whatever is around us.